By now, I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen my silly little danger list that's been going around on a couple of other channels. Shout out to all you guys who posted my list. I really do appreciate it, and shout out to everyone who messaged me about it, asking me, like certain questions and whatnot. I hope I was able to answer you to the best of my abilities. There are still a lot of people I need to get back to, but yeah, I'm gonna do my own profile for my Arcana Force 21 the world. I know I just called it XX1. People were like, "Can you not read Roman numerals?" I actually can. I just wanted to be cool, I guess, and call it XX1 the world. But yeah, past weekend in San Jose, I played it, you guys. I played Pure Dangers with Arcana the world, and it was pretty cool. I did it for a friend. He lent me the cards. Everyone should know the story by now. I'm not going to go into super amount of detail in my own profile. You guys have probably heard it and seen the super long profiles, but deck was insane all weekend. The thing was, no one really knew what was going on at all. No one knew, like, there were very few people who actually knew what the world was. They had heard of it, but they didn't know that it actually meant that their turn got skipped. So yeah, it was pretty cool. In a sense, I know a lot of people have said, well, this isn't an FTK, it isn't an OTK. It depends on what sense you look at it at. If your opponent never truly gets a turn, never gets to play the game, a lot of people vouch that as a OTK or FTK. Take it for what it is. Either way, it was an alternate win condition that was pretty cool, and I mean, it worked out. You want to give me all the dangers in the world to play, and you want to give me 3-star users to play, that's what I did. But yeah, I will, of course, go through the deck, give you guys my matchups real quick, and that'll call it for my profile. I ended up going X2, as you guys know, got 23rd place, was very happy with it. I mean, it wasn't a top. I was actually one win away from a guaranteed top 8. Just unfortunate. I lost rounds 5 and 6, and I'll be honest, like, it sucked, like, losing 2 rounds in a row, but after that I won out, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. But it is what it is. You guys already know the win condition of the deck. Arcana 21 the world, Light Barrier. Light Barrier lets you pick the coin flip. You're always calling heads because Arcana the world's heads effect is whenever it's summoned in any possible way. And I've already mentioned there's so many ways you can summon it, like you have triple star Yugioh, the 2 reborn cards, etc., that you could toss a coin. If it's heads, you skip your opponent's turn. Tails, they add the top card of the graveyard to their hand during their draw phase. Sometimes it's kind of funny because sometimes that effect doesn't, like in testing, I've lost the coin flip, of course, and that effect never does anything because they don't have anything in the graveyard. But yeah, this is the win condition of the deck. Shout out to my boy Michael for letting me use these, because this was the whole reason I played the deck, was because he lent me these cards. Ulti First World, mint condition. I was like, okay, I got you, and yeah, it was cool. And then the reason why people say Konami messed up is I get to play all these. I get to play all the dangers, and of course I played the base 9. These are the best ones, guaranteed. Nessie, Jackalope, Snake. They let you get your monsters onto the board. All you're trying to do is just link climb into Saryujas. I mean, you play 3 of them. There are 3 draw 4s, technically 4, because you can make a 4th one, like I mentioned before. You can make a 4th one with spinning a Saryuja back with Unicorn, even though it doesn't come up that much. And then the 4s, the Chupacabra and the Mothman. Again, these were super important because of Nyarla and Azathoth. Being able to, just blanket out your opponent's hand traps and effects outside of infinite and permanence is great. Card is good going first or second, and the reason is going first, obviously, they can't hand trap you as you're just trying to draw to your win condition and, combo into the world for pretty much to end the game right there. But going second, Azathoth is still really powerful because you can just kind of blanket a negate board and then just punch over everything with all your monsters, because all your monsters are huge. So it's pretty cool. These cards are, of course, very good. Sniping Chupacabra early sucks, I will admit. That's something I didn't mention, but sniping it early sucks. But, I mean, you work with it. Yeah, it's a whole gamble deck, you guys. Like I mentioned, it's like going to Vegas and winning or losing. Yeah, you're just gambling the entire time with the way things are. And then, the coin flip, if you don't have Light Barrier, is always a gamble. For the 8s, 2 Bigfoot, 2 Thunderbird, 2 Ogopogo. This was the perfect ratio. I wanted to keep the deck 40. I originally had a 45 card count. It was just too much. But 2 of each of these was great. I've watched a lot of danger lists, and I've seen how they never really maxed out on these. And it makes sense because they don't really do anything. And again, I didn't play Dogman. Card is awful. Card does nothing for my deck. So I decided to cut it completely and keep the deck a clean 40. And it worked out. I never needed Dogman at a single point of the game. So it was great. 3 Brow, just really good card. People were saying you were cheating with this card, you were drawing 2. I actually wasn't. So when this card gets discarded, you draw a card off of its effect and off of the danger, because if you're hitting this and not the danger, you draw a card. So I didn't give really good clarification, but yeah, if I reveal, say, Ogopogo, and you hit the brow, I discard the brow, summon the Ogopogo, draw a card off Ogopogo and a card off brow. So that's like what I meant when I said draw two. It's like Pot of Greed. So yeah, card was insane. The best normal summon in the deck. I saw it a lot because just draw through the whole deck. This card is just nuts. It can do anything you want it to. It can become another Yugioh. It can become your, it just can become anything you want. Like, this card is ridiculous, even at 1. I think this deck really plays it well, too. I know Danger Thunder are still playing it, and they see the value in this card even at 1, and in this deck, I definitely see its value. And then, of course, the Blackwing Zephyros, the Elite, another really good card to send to get discarded off of Dangers. Again, shout out to my boy Charles. He was the only person in the room at the time because, of course, I wasn't going to order this online and like expect it to get here overnight and pay some ridiculous price. But Zephyros the Elite, finding an Ultra was so hard, but my boy Charles hooked me up because he had one. So shout out to you, bro. This card was amazing. Lets you reuse the Dangers. Lets you bounce back the world if you have to summon it early and you miss the coin flip, because then you can just try again. So really, really good. The way you do that is if the world does come out early, say you get tails, you have this in your graveyard, you bounce the world back, bring this out, take 400, make a second Yugioh and special it again and try again to get heads. Because statistically speaking, like if you flip a coin at least like 3 or 4 times, you would hope one of those times would be heads, and that's all you're aiming for, is to get one of the results to be heads. So this card was extremely important. I think in any pure danger deck, this card is insane. And then should all be same thing. It's like another brow. If it gets discarded, you draw off its effect and off the danger. So it's like drawing 2. It's like Pot of Greed. Also, I mentioned in the other profiles you guys saw is that you just tribute set this monster. The opponent will, if they attack into it, and it did happen, he didn't know what it was, like I tribute set and like no one knew what it was, and he just attacked into it. It flips, you draw 2 cards, discard a card. So I drew 2 cards, discarded to danger. Yeah, I think it was a dangerous. Yes, it was insane. So you plus off of it regardless. And that's it for the monsters. 28 monsters. You guys already saw Light Barrier. 3 at the beginning of the end. This card just says draw 3. I don't know why. It's ridiculous. It's so easy to fill your graveyard with darks because 27 out of the 28 monsters in your deck are dark. So, I mean, I guess 3 allure. The 2 trade-in, this was the card that made my deck a little different from a lot of danger decks. No one has been playing this card except people who are playing Blue Eyes with Dangers. Shout out to my boy Kai Basetto. You already know he played, of course, Blue Eyes. He played the level 8 Dangers to make Dark Matter before the ban list, but trade-in is still really, really solid in this deck. You have 6 level 8 Dangers as well as the world being an 8, trading in the world early, because honestly, the games I lost, I opened the world, and you would think, oh good, you're halfway to your win condition if you look at Light Barrier's other condition, but opening it early kind of sucks. You would rather trade it in, get more resources, because if you don't send 2 monsters, that's another thing with this effect is that you need to send 2 monsters, so your whole goal is to get as many monsters on the board as possible, leave a slot open for the world, and then summon the world, because then it'll resolve and you won't have any issues. But you want to make sure you can guarantee game once you skip their turn. So opening the world early kind of sucks, so trade-in helps with that. And then the Reborn cards, they were just really good. And card destruction, because this card is broken. I don't know why this card ever came off the list. This with Dangers, it never got ashed because they were ashing other things that they didn't have it. So yeah, every time I resolved card destruction, it was insane for me. So really, really like that card. So yeah, it was the main deck, 40 cards, nice and clean. 3, I don't know why you're not hit on the list in some shape or form. You say draw 4 with beginning of the end. You really say draw 4 because you draw 3, draw beginning of the end, draw 3 more cards. It's so ridiculous. Plus it helps you with your win condition to the world, helps you just filter through your whole deck. Curious, another extremely important part of the deck, being able to send the world, being able to send Shadal Beast or send Zephyros and then mill 3 to fuel beginning of the end is super important. This also has application in our side deck because we are playing Griffin as well. So Curious Griffin, you guys should know the combo by now, is very, very strong, especially when you're going first in game 3. And whenever I won game 1 with skipping their turn, I was always going second, but this was for game 3 if I lost game 2. And then the unfair cards that say your opponent can't play but our deck can play it is Nyarla and Azathoth. Like I said, good going first, also good going second to blanket and negate board, so why would you not play them? All the level 4s in the deck really help make them quite consistently. Link Spider, Space Insulator. These are just good Link utilities. The Link Spider is, of course, for the Sky Blaster tokens. The Space Insulator helps you make Curious. Also is a dark for beginning of the end. That's extremely important. And then without a doubt, the best card in my extra deck when going second was Wee Witch's Apprentice. This card was ridiculous the entire, all 9 rounds. This card was nuts. I think I summoned it almost every game after I skipped their turn. And every game too, because up until round 5, I didn't lose a single game. I hadn't dropped a game. And this card was nuts because it makes all your dangers huge. It makes your Bigfoot 3/5. It makes your Thunderbirds 3/3. All your monsters are gigantic. And this is 19 by itself. And when I played against Trickstars round 3 and round 4, I completely forgot that, oh yeah, it lowers your light monsters by 400, so that gave me just even more beat stick ability that just flat out won the game. So this card is definitely insane if you're playing all dangers, because it's so easy to make. It's generic in this deck because it says 2 dark monsters. Our whole deck is dark, so pretty crazy. Nightmare, Cerebus, Phoenix, Unicorn, and Griffin. I do play them all. They all have good utility. I summoned all of them except Griffin. I summoned Griffin in testing at the locals the night before. So if those of you were wondering, you guys saw my community post how I said I went undefeated at locals. This was the deck. Didn't drop a game. No one knew what the deck did, so it was pretty crazy. I got my OTS packs for that. But yeah, I think in testing I summoned Griffin once. It didn't really come up to the point where I needed the floodgate. The deck naturally draws into them, but this was a good backup strategy, especially when you get hand trapped in certain places. You had to be able to make some kind of board, and these cards are just all really good. Discarding dangers off of these cards is, it's ridiculous. It's like cheating. It's like, it shouldn't be. It's like not fair. It's like crazy how good they are. Like being able to draw extra cards is great. And then the Borals to round it out. I want to say maybe I summoned this once. I still don't remember. I was trying to remember if I summoned this once. I might have, but I definitely summoned this in the last round of Swiss on the last turn when I almost messed up and cost myself to go from X2 to X3, but I remembered to do simple math and make a 4, and this was it. This and Prankatops won me the game, so cards are insane. So that's it for my extra deck, and then my side real quick. Real Phantom Sky Blaster token. Shout out to Joe Bogley. Yeah, I love having the real tokens. He hooked me up on those. You're never getting this back, Johnny. Everyone should know that by now. Side deck was 3 Lancia. This is the God card against Orcus. Card just says they can't play. Really good blankets against Danger Thunder. Just really good in general. If you play even random decks like Gemini FDK and stuff like that, I think this is definitely a staple in every side deck this format. It's just so good against Orcus, and even though I lost to one Orcus player, I lost to getting sniped on dangers, opening the world, and I Lancia'd him, and what's crazy is it still stunned his turn. So even though I lost that game, like, it really told me, okay, Lancia is definitely one of the best side deck cards this format. I always thought it was one of the best side deck cards, but now it should be known against Orcus. It's one of the best. 2 Denko, along with 2 Prankatops. So this was just for back row decks. This was for obviously going second, because no one ever really let me go first once they saw what my strategy was. So basically just, this was for the back row decks, just to rip into everything and just attack for game. Denko's really good against Salamangreat. Would have been good against Striker. I actually played no Striker, but yeah. And Prankatops, I think Prankatops is one of the best cards. I almost thought I would bump this to 3 because it's just of its versatility against pretty much any matchup. What I like about this card too is that, like, it's just big. It's just a big free body half the time, especially going second. The thing is, I kept it at 2 and 2 because of how much I draw my deck, and having multiple Prankatops or multiple Denkos doesn't really help, so that was a reason for that. And then the 1 Sphere mode, again, shout out to my brother Derek Freeman, who basically gave me the idea to cut one of the Sphere modes for a 3rd Lancia. I originally had a 2-2-2 split across the board on all of these, and then he really talked to me about how good this card was, and because of that, I definitely switched one of the Sphere modes in the deck to a 3rd Lancia, and it definitely worked out because Lancia was just more impactful. And believe it or not, Sphere mode never came up. I cited it in a couple games, but they never put 3 monsters on the board, but it just got discarded for danger, so it was fine. Spells was 3 twins. This card is ridiculous with dangers. It just triggers all of them. This plus Thunderbird, this plus Bigfoot is just pop 3. Like, I don't even know. It's so ridiculous. And then the floodgates I was talking about that would go with the Griffin Curious Lock was the 2 anti-spell and the Imperial Order. It didn't come up, but they were there. It was basically for Striker and Pendulum. I played neither of those decks, but just always be prepared. And then I side decked the 1 Dweller. So the theory on this was my 15th card was if we go against Salad game, I don't know, whatever game, I guess game 3, and say we are trying to get to the world, and say we just don't get there, say we get hand trapped, say we don't get to say we just don't get to the combo. Basically, we can end on a Dweller instead of an Azathoth, and we can just say, go ahead, Dweller them, they pass their turn, and then on our turn, we just put all our monsters on the board and attack for game, and that was the strategy. It didn't come up, but that was the theory, yo. But that's it, you guys. That is, you've probably seen it, I don't know how many times, but now you have it here on my channel. I re-recorded it too, so it's not the same profile, but yeah, that was my 23rd place Danger World OTK, FTK, skip your turn, whatever you want to call it, kind of deck. I just want to give shout outs, of course, to Golden Goat's best team. I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Michael for lending me these cards. It was the reason why, I kept a promise to him that I would play it at the next event I went to, and I kept my word. I want to give a shout out to Akeem Davis, my brother Akeem Davis at the Grown Man table. He almost topped YCS Chicago with this, and we've been talking about this deck a bit. Same shout out goes to Joe Bogley. He helped me out with this deck a lot too. And my friend Ken Quo, who actually put me on to the trade-in idea, because I never would have thought of it, and we would have just been playing less consistent cards in the deck. But yeah, it was kind of cool. Like, everyone is like, I guess, I don't watch the anime, but I think I'm going to have to now and go to the part where the world actually gets summoned, it seems, the Worldo or something like that. Because that's what you guys seem to be talking about in the comments on a lot of the videos. But I definitely want to see that. I definitely want to see where the world gets summoned. That sounds really cool. But yeah, it just felt cool to be able to play a card like this, have a different strategy like this. And people may see it as degenerate, but I mean, I wasn't putting up Build-A-Board. I wasn't playing, I wasn't playing Mind Burn. I was just playing, you don't get a turn. Pretty much the same thing when you think about it. But I did it for my friend Michael, and I was happy that I was able to play this. Would I play it again? Yeah, maybe. I think Pure Danger could actually be a deck, and that could definitely be something you can see coming on the channel. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you did, yep, those things, and the bell thing, which should be right there, hopefully. But if you guys enjoyed, let me know in the comments below any questions you have. We'll definitely discuss it in a future video. And some people asked about combo videos and stuff. It's kind of hard to do something like that, but if I can put something together for you guys, I will. It's a little hard when you're doing RNG with Dangers, but I could probably get someone to help me with that. We could just try to see how consistently or how long it takes to get to the win condition. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.